So, welcome to another episode of Women Petpreneurs podcast with your host, Mary Oquendo. And my special guest today is Loren Mesquita.
Mosquito.
Mesquita. Oh, okay. I like that.
Thank you. It's like a smoky female mosquito. So
Yeah, no. I think it almost sums up your personality.
a little bit. My husband is actually Brazilian, so that's his last name. They got married.
Yeah, my husband is Puerto Rican too. So when I got married, I was taking his last name because it was way better than mine.
It keeps us spicy then, huh?
I think so too. All right. So let's first start off with how you got involved in the pet industry.
Oh, well, first off, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. But when I first started in the industry, I started when I was at 14, just getting a job. And it was at a kennel, at a private salon. And I was there for about 4 years. Then it got to that point to where, am I going to college? Am I not? And school really wasn't for me. So my mom had then convinced me, you should probably get a job somewhere that has benefits. So lo and behold, corporate. So my little 19-year-old booty stepped on over to PetSmart, and I thrived there for about 13 years. So I started off as a bather. Then they sent me to grooming school, all that stuff. And it was a great opportunity. Health insurance, stock, 401k, all that stuff. I started managing at 21, had no business being a manager, but went for it, stepped down, transferred. So it allowed me to have opportunities to move where, say, if my life was changing, I could transfer. So that was a great opportunity too for the company. I mean, being with the company, excuse me. Again, I went ahead and managed later in life, and life again changed in a different direction. And there was some payments different in structures for the management. So the management went from commission to hourly, and I took almost an $18,000 pay cut in 1 year, and it was not enough for me. And I knew that I was outgrowing the company for myself. So I decided to step down, and I knew I was going to do something either private or mobile or something. And there was an opportunity that happened. I cashed in my 401, and then I started my own business with my 401. It's all gone now, but but it was an opportunity for me to learn. So being with the company that helped me for 13 years build in myself as a confidence as a person through management, communication, grooming. By the time I was leaving the company, I had just started taking private lessons, learning how to hand strip, and just beginning to dabble into dog grooming competitions. And then I started my company, my own small business. And then I started going more into dog grooming competitions, moving my way out there and seeing different venues and avenues for me to be stronger where my ADHD could take me. So it's been a very, very interesting career. So
Okay. Because I started off at corporate too. I only lasted 2 years though.
Yeah, that's okay. I mean, there's a lot of great ones like yourself that started at corporate, said, hey, this isn't for me. Yep. Some people, still amazing people that still work for corporate. That was my journey. That's where it took me. But looking at it now, it's definitely a great foundation for people who don't know where they want to go academically, like school. If they don't want to go to college or anything, this is a great opportunity for people to still grow in an industry that's constantly growing in different directions.
Oh, yeah. I absolutely agree with you. And I'll always say it. I am so grateful to Petco for giving me my start in this industry, because I wouldn't be sitting here doing this if it wasn't for them. Okay.
Absolutely.
But at the same time, I also credit them with pissing me off enough to start my own business.
Yes. Yeah. If it doesn't scare the crap out of you, if it doesn't make you live or thrive or get angry, just have feelings, and you're just complacent, you're not doing anything. Where are you going to go? Otherwise, you're complaining.
No, well, and that's true too. I mean, I think corporate can be a really good jumping off point, but it can also be a really good place this is what you want. It's a good place to be. Mm-hmm. Okay. They have to follow rules.
Yes.
Okay. So that's a pro and a con, by the way.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It doesn't matter where you work. There's a pro and a con to it. You have to kind of decide what it is that you need out of life.
Mhm.
And it's okay to change.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And I think
Absolutely.
sometimes people get a little thing, well, I'm here. I can't do anything else because this is what I'm doing. And I'm like, yeah, wait till I make an announcement in the beginning of January where things are going to change again for me.
Mhm.
But the point being is change is good, growth is good. And part of the reason why I wanted you here is that I've been watching you, and I'm amazed at what you're doing. I just want to say
Oh,
that.
thank you. I appreciate that. It's I appreciate you at least acknowledging that. The fact that you're saying, "Hey, I've been watching you." I appreciate that. Whether if it's and not saying about you, whether if it's positive or negative, I know that I'm putting myself out there
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
scaring the crap out of me. But I
Yeah.
know that I'm setting a difference because how else am I going to survive physically and mentally, because my body can only do so much in my grooming salon.
Yep.
And it's funny to make jokes or to make silly videos or something, but in reality, I need to look at what's going to continue making me happy. And I don't have that 401 anymore. I don't have that backup plan like I did when I first started my business. I need to look at where am I going to be in the next 5 years. Am I going to start a second business? Who can I collaborate with? I enjoy traveling. I still enjoy competitions. I love meeting people. I love even the disappointments, even if things don't work out. I'm learning and growing. And I really appreciate the fact that you can see that, at least from your perspective, because I'm sure you can relate to that for yourself.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I went into the pet industry. I was 38 years old. I did not start off as a baby in this. Okay.
Right.
I was second career. I was a stay-at-home mom. So everything I've done is just not something that I personally have ever done.
Right.
Okay. So yeah, even from taking that first job, having been out of the workforce for, I don't know, almost 20 years,
Right.
and then jumping back into the workforce. So yeah, I see, and like I said, I admire, I like to see people put themselves out there, good, bad, or indifferent.
Right.
Okay. And even if you're putting out may not work, so what?
Mhm.
Put something else out,
Right. Absolutely.
but just be
Absolutely.
happy doing it.
Absolutely. And that's what I'm concentrating on. And, if it makes me happy, that's why I decided to make a big change in August with my grooming salon, where I laid off my staff and I cut my business basically almost in half. I took a chance on trying something new, which was becoming the the sorry, the the person for groom team, the social media director. Sorry, my brain was fuzzy. Becoming that to take a chance, because I get so inspired and so just exhilarated from making these little videos, just by making something that I think is relatable, or a song that I hear. I'm like, how can I relate this to dog grooming, or how can I make this funny? It's completely separate because of a different brand, but something that I do for myself. I definitely want to move into that next step and say, hey, I want to maybe start another business, or to do something more on a social marketing, social networking type of venue. So yeah.
And I think that's great, because I think when we're looking at what our industry needs as a service,
Mhm.
okay, having somebody who knows the business can be so much better. So you're a better social media director because you're in the industry. You know us.
Right.
Okay. I've hired social media people who are not in the industry I was in. And boy, let me tell you something. Yeah, generically, yeah, whatever. I probably don't ever remember anything. It was just so blah.
Right.
Okay. But finding people, when I've had logos made, I looked for somebody in our industry who was doing that on the side.
Yes.
All right. So there's a lot of value to that. And I really wish you well with that. And that's probably what first caught my eye was I think the first thing that caught my eye was you put your face on something that was ridiculous.
It's always I crop out my face and I put it on an animal or something. And I'm just making fun of myself because I think it's fun.
Yeah.
Like I was gonna.
And I'm thinking, wow. And I think, and for some reason, I'm thinking it was you put your face on like a Bichon or something, maybe with Lindsay Dickens or something like that. Is that
Yeah.
ringing a bell?
Something. I think actually, I don't know. What was it? Most recently, I'm trying to gain information to do slideshows, like simple slideshows. So I get to kind of know the actual person, the team member that's there. So I ask them, what's your favorite kind of music? What do you listen to? So that I can make it more of an emotional thing for them because they're so passionate what they do. Then I get pictures from when they started this. And then I have a whole questionnaire that I send to them on what is this, but they're so busy. Things happen. So I was like, okay, screw it. Let me go ahead and make a simple story. So I was like, here's a story, a lady. And then I cropped out her face and drew a stick figure and then with her dog and she grooms good. Done. I was like,
Yeah, but you know what? That is fun. That's fun. So yeah, I've been, and probably because of you, I'm looking at maybe I should do a couple of reels. Everyone's telling me to do reels. I don't want to do reels, but I did a couple. Okay.
good. That's awesome.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to tell you, I always say that my first ones out there because they're really, really bad. So that anyone says, hey, I can't do this. I'm like, hey, listen, watch this one that I posted publicly.
Yes.
Okay. And go for that. Go
Yes.
from there.
Yes. Well, that's kind of like where I'm starting. So until I can really figure out a foundation or where I'm kind of gearing, I'm practicing one through a brand, creating stuff for them because the sky's the limit on the opportunities on that. But at the same time, say if someone isn't they don't want to do the reels or anything, send me your stuff. If someone doesn't, they want to make something for their dog or for a client, they want to add this, they want to add that, I'll do reels for people. I'm like, hey, like $50 or this, for 100, or depending on what it is, if it's a product or not, and add cutesy little things and using different apps because everything that I'm doing is all on my phone. So until I educate myself by taking more computer classes, marketing classes, photography classes, I mean, just in a year from now, with the amount of drive and obsession that I have right now, where am I going to be in 12 months? Where am I going to be in 6 months? So I'm really, really excited. So when people say, I get intimidated or I don't like to do these reels, it just gets me really jived up because I just want to sit next to you and make this with you and show you how fun this can be because it's exciting. It's really cool.
No, I agree with you. And I will just say one thing for people who are thinking that, maybe doing like live streams or podcast. If you think about doing a podcast and you're like, all these podcasts, they're so professional. I'm going to tell you, whether it's traveling groomers or women petpreneurs, go to like the first 2 or 3 episodes.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
listen to them and then tell me you can't do it.
Right. Now I've had the idea of maybe possibly doing a podcast.
Then we'll talk after this podcast.
Oh, okay. But yeah, there's so many ideas that are out there and avenues and opportunities and I've also checked into my business license, anything that's pet related in the pet industry for me to provide services for other people. So the next step that I'd like to do, because my name of the grooming salon that I have is Canine Couture Expert Grooming, but I'd like to create Canine Couture Studio so that it can create a service for other people in the industry. So if it's dog training, marketing for shears, people that are looking for certain things, reels such as yourself, if you're like, hey, I have these images, I want to do something, whatever, I could create something, maybe not necessarily on a regular basis or just charge it for services at a time. And we don't necessarily have a lot of that out there for people to help build their own brand or marketing, whether if it's me creating a podcast, but using myself as a guinea pig to learn the ins and outs of how to build a podcast and the professionalism behind that, whether if it's something professional or it's like, hey, I'm just going to have a couple drinks and talk about dogs. So yeah, there's a lot of opportunities on that and I'm really excited. So,
when I retired from grooming, so my business in Connecticut was Positively Pretty Mobile Grooming LLC.
mm-hmm.
When I dissolved the business in Connecticut and came out here to Washington, instead of making the business Positive Educational Training LLC, because that I think limited me so much into that's what I was going to do. I instead named it Spirited Dog Productions LLC.
Right.
And Positive Ed is just sort of like under that umbrella. But
Right.
it's, again, thinking to the future. Oh, I don't know what I'm going to do in 5 years.
Right.
I have an idea.
Right.
And maybe I'll be there. Maybe I won't be there. Maybe I'll get a year into it. I'm going to think, I mean, this is really stupid. We need to do something else. All right. So it's thinking to the future, thinking where you want to be in that 5 years. And we're coming up at the end of the year. This is really a good time to like contemplate. All right. The after the week after Christmas, or even going into the first week of January, it should be a little slower. Okay. You should take the time to reevaluate your businesses. Are you happy where you are?
Right.
And if you're not happy, look at what will make you happy.
Right. And that was a big pivotal point in August where that is trending. So you're right. You're absolutely right. Look at the self-reflection. What makes you happy? Where are you going? Finances obviously is a big part. So I at least want to make sure that I'm stable. I've locked in my rent for the next 5 years at a really, really amazing rate. I'm very blessed and thankful for my landlords. So I still have a building that I can use as an office or a place where content can be created. Repainted the walls so people can maybe come and record at my shop, or I record myself videos. It could be anything, or an interview area for a podcast, or interview area for me to do lives, and it's like a talk show, or there's opportunities everywhere. And also working like with Colin Taylor products. I started with learning about American distribution, partnering with Companion Animal Network with Jessica and Chris, selling it through their website and becoming writing blogs, doing different things through their website. And then also again with Colin, we're creating a lot of cool stuff that's going to be happening in April that we're going to go live with at the Tacoma show. So there's a lot. Yeah. And so I'm really excited about that. So I'm learning about marketing, and again, using myself as a guinea pig to do the marketing, to do the branding, to the pictures. This isn't working. I appreciate Jessica's eye from Companion Animal Network, because she's so critical on what things look like. So the picture and the lighting and the writing, everything into it. So I appreciate that friendship and almost that mentorship that I have with her. And there's just a lot of really cool things that are happening. And you're right, with the happiness, this is all going in that direction.
And I also want to make a point too, because you're talking about, you're working with Colin, you're working with Companion Animal Network. This industry can be so amazing when you take the time to know who else is in your field and network with them.
Yes, that's why I love these shows. And I love going to these shows because it's one, just being a competitor and putting myself out there and scaring the crap out of myself because I'm doing 2 competitions in one day, whatever, and getting to know just the other competitors next to me. So there's that kind of networking. Then going out and meeting the brands, meeting the different brands of people like Andis or Wall, anything like that I can just say, hi, my name is Loren, I do this, whatever, just to put myself out there, because you never know when you might need that person. Or excuse me, like Lulu from Artero, I need to help produce so much content as a responsibility for making sure that they're known as a sponsor. So I'm reaching out to her personally to send me different video, different things like that. Even, connecting with you and trying to talk about different things. Like when I first started, you're building those connections, you're building those memories and saying hi and just being friendly, because you never know when you'll need something, and you don't want to burn that bridge, because we can all help each other.
Oh, absolutely. There are very few people in this industry that I would not actually work with. Most people I personally find, and I think part of it is a lot of attitude. I expect the best from you. I expect the best from everybody. And I think when you expect the best from people, you get the best.
Sure.
So where do you see yourself? Like, let's say, all right, so you locked in your lease there for 5 years.
Yes,
Right.
starting in July. So I was giving myself 6 months just in case if they didn't want me there at my space that I just am going to end a 5-year lease in July. So I was just getting paranoid. So like just in case. So yeah.
Okay. So where would you like to be in 5 years?
Still in my same building. Still in my same building, or to have one or two businesses regarding social networking, social media productions in a way that I can help others grow, to having my own clients, to either creating the content or helping coaching and guiding others in helping their brands and marketing, so that I don't have to groom, all the time. And if I do, I'm focusing on my craft. I'd like to be on Groom Team USA. I'm giving myself some time to kind of really hone my craft on becoming a better skilled competitor. So maybe being on Groom Team, competing at Worlds at someday, and traveling the world, helping and educating others on social media, putting themselves out there, being a positive speaker, a positive enforcer of just the community, so that we can be able to work together instead of against each other.
Okay. So the very first time you put up one of your reels, how did you feel?
As far as my reels for myself,
Yeah,
uh,
let's go all the way back to the very first time you hit.
uh, so it was just about a year ago, and I didn't even have TikTok, or I think it was like Hershey of last year. And I remember sitting at that dinner because it was my first time ever going to that dinner. And I just saw the Barclay, of course you hear the Barclay Awards and all this stuff and the nominations. And a year ago at that time, I didn't even have TikTok. I couldn't stand it. I was like, what the hell is TikTok? What's this? What's this? And so finally I said, you know what, if I'm just going to keep talking crap about it all this time, let me just see what it's about. And of course, going down the bunny hole, doing all these things. And then I had an employee work with me for a little bit, and her name's Cassie, and she had her TikTok, and then she had so many followers because I just started, and she had so many followers because she had one video of something that happened and it just went viral. And I was like, what? How do you do that? Because I wanted to get into not just taking cute pictures of my dogs. I wanted to create something that could make someone happy or excited. Also, Jess Rona is a huge person that I like idolize regarding her type of content that she does.
I
So I
love.
was kind of, yeah, she's amazing.
I love Jess. Yes.
I was kind of thinking of that idea. So then I just went there and I was like, okay, let me just try to make something. And I did it and it was crap, but I felt like I was embarrassed. I was really embarrassed, but as my mom always said, if it doesn't scare the shit out of you, then you're not doing anything, or you need to do it if it scares the shit out of you. So I did it and I just haven't looked back, and I keep going, and I still cringe on certain things, but you have that opportunity to hit delete if you
Well,
want
yeah,
to.
that's the whole thing too, right? You
Yeah.
know, there isn't, I don't think a week goes by that when I hit post, I don't cringe. Okay.
Okay. That's good because it makes you relatable and more authentic to
Yeah.
admit that, to say like, oh, I still cringe about my stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I stop cringing, then it's like, yeah, I'm finished here. I need to move
Right.
someplace
Right.
else where I'm going to be cringeworthy.
Right. Yeah.
Or
So
not.
when I first did that, it scared me. Yeah.
So, all right. So what are some of your favorite trade shows? So I know now let's say what some of your upcoming trade shows. I know you're going to go into the Tacoma show because
Yes.
I will be there also. That's my
Cool.
home show now.
Awesome. I look forward to that. That will be my first time going. So I'm actually going out a little bit early to spend some time with Colin and Coleman. That's where Coleman's from,
Yep.
with his family. So I was invited out there to just kind of hang out and then go to that show. It will be my first time going to Washington and that show. But as far as the shows, I'm going to try to hit as much as I can, especially any sanctioned show, so that I can get as much content as I can for Groom Team.
Okay, that's cool. So yeah, so next year I'm going to be at probably more shows than I want to be at.
Okay.
Right. So I'm at that stage now where I don't want to go to a lot of shows anymore. It's
Right.
time for the young bloods to take over a little bit, you
Right.
know?
Yeah. But it's
So,
still good to see your face at that because people know you. So
yeah,
if people know you and if that's part of your brand, and even if you don't want to go, but knowing that other people can start taking more responsibilities, you know,
yep.
you're going to be like the mayor, Mayor Mary.
Okay. Well, that's
Kissing
why
baby.
that's why I still have the purple hair, because
You gotta always
it's
have the purple hair.
easy to find me. It's like,
There you
okay,
go.
yes, yes, yes. I am not the only person with purple hair at a grooming trade show. Okay.
Right.
But still, easier to spot colored hair in the distance. Come
Yeah.
find me. Okay. Um, I don't know what I'll do. I don't know.
You
I'm not,
shock them off with diet black. Just go full goth.
you know what? Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Literally had that thought the other day. What
See,
if,
it's like spirit. There you go.
what if I went all black instead of purple?
Do it. Do it. Yeah, go for it. Get tattoos, do it. Just go
Well,
full all.
I do have a tattoo. I have Tinkerbell on my ankle.
Very cool. Very cool.
I did that we did a your generation. So I'm the next generation up. Your generation is very tattooed. Okay.
Yes.
When I was growing up, good girls did not get tattoos.
Okay.
Okay. So
You're
I
a
was,
bad, you're a bad girl, Mary.
yes, rebel now.
Rebel with Tinkerbell.
Exactly, with Tinkerbell. And I don't know, I was like 40 something. And I
Right.
did a mother-daughter tattoo date with one of my kids.
Mhm.
And so I opted for Tinkerbell. I should get the colors updated on it. I think the yellow is fading a little bit.
That's
But
okay.
I figured I wasn't going to die without a tattoo.
There you go. Look at you taking chances. Rebel Mary.
Yeah, that's right. So that's right. I'm going to dye my hair all black. I'm going to
Yeah.
dress then in all black, right? I have to be all black then?
Yep.
All
I'll
right.
be there for it. Yeah.
Okay. All right. We'll do that. Maybe with pink shoes to go with it.
There you go.
Okay.
There you go. Hot pink or lime green. That'd be really hot.
Oh God, not lime green. I can do hot pink. Please do not ask me to do lime green. Anyway, we're digressing a little bit.
Okay.
All right. So I'm actually really excited. I think that idea of having a studio where people could come in to do like reels and stuff like that, to like knock off. I mean, how many hours would you need to like knock off basically a year's worth of reels for somebody for their business?
So I try to break it down like I do with my business. If it costs me so much for my overhead and I look at what it costs per dog, then I break it down to so many dogs per day, per week, per month in order to make that. So what I'm going to focus on is maybe possibly gaining clients that they pay so much per month with an expectation of what they need. So say if I'm going to do so many reels for them per week, and then also offer me to come to record, whether if I'm going to them or they're sending me things and coaching, and charge them so much per month, I think would make it easier for me to have more of a income, an easier way for me to track it versus, oh, hey, this is so and so. But I can still do, hey, I'm marketing myself if you need help with reels every now and then. But that's not going to stay as strong as, say, if I have solid clients per month.
Okay. Membership model really is the way to go.
Mm-hmm.
You know, pay you a monthly fee.
Yeah. I mean, that isn't something that I haven't considered. I've seen other people do that, that, you know, you do that for yourself. Also, other people do that for their grooming salons. So I haven't really I'm not educated enough in that to know exactly what that is, but I'm not saying that I wouldn't do it. I think that would be a great opportunity.
Okay. So we'll talk more after this podcast is over, because I'll have to get you up to speed also on podcasting.
Cool.
I think that that would be really interesting. I think we need as many voices as we can.
Sure. Yeah.
Everybody
Everybody has something to say. Yeah.
So having as many voices as possible. What I would like to see is maybe also a podcast from a competitor's point of view.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't have to be like a groom team person, just somebody who goes in and competes, and from their perspective, what it is like to put yourself out there. Because that's one of the things I haven't done. And I thought I wanted to be, I would do competing, because back when I worked corporate, I had two Bichons that, you know what, I could have done well in entry when I first started with them. But then I went mobile, and that was kind of the end of that. I didn't have the time anymore.
Right.
But that's an excuse. I could have made the time if I wanted to.
I mean, it's a commitment, but there's
Yes.
other avenues and other opportunities that you decided to do. So I don't think that's something to put yourself down on, but it's just, it doesn't mean you can't try to do it now. There's other ways of putting yourself out there in competitions in different ways that doesn't have to be the standard of a purebred, whether if it's freestyle, tag team, or rescue roundup, you know, or
I've tried to get into rescue roundup, and literally, oh my God. So I tried for Hershey. Okay. And I don't know. I was fast, but not apparently fast enough. And I ended up on the wait list, and I didn't get it. I would like to do rescue. I would like to do a rodeo, one of the rodeos. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
It would be very, very cool. Okay.
Yeah.
But I don't know. We'll see. Maybe one year I'd like a super zoo or something, but I think that fills up really fast too.
I think so. I've never been to Super Zoo, but this year I definitely want to try to make it. I'd like to go for jackpot. I don't know.
Oh, it's a very different show than a grooming show, by the way.
Well, they have other vendors there from all over.
Wear good shoes. Wear good shoes. Don't think you're going to be walking that show.
I'll have to wear hokas or something.
Yeah, you're going to have to wear really good shoes, and not new hokas.
Yeah.
Break them in for a couple of weeks before you go. Okay.
Good tip.
Okay.
Yeah.
I had a friend who went there, and then the cutest of sandals, and I'm saying, you're going to last a half hour. She was like barefoot the rest of the day.
Poor thing.
I'm not sure I would do that either, but you know, maybe buy a pair of shoes someplace that's a little bit more comfortable. But Super Zoo is a great show. It's a very, very different show.
That's awesome.
I love Super Zoo. I love Super Zoo.
Yeah.
And the classes there are different than at the grooming shows. I mean, they have the typical grooming classes there, but they have business classes there that are taught by business people.
That's cool.
So it's a different category of classes. I try to make time, and it's not like being at trade shows. I have any in with anyone to get like push me up on the list or anything like that. It's like that. There's none of that. All right. Because if there was, I'd be in rescue rodeo at some point.
Okay? You're like, I'll be there.
You know, I had no problem utilizing that if that was available to me, just saying, but it is not.
Right. You'll get there.
Yeah, sooner or later. Okay. So, all right. So your shows for this year, okay, you know, we're going to announce something at Tacoma, which I'm looking forward to. And I just found out from Colin that Coleman's mother is a big crystal nut like me.
Yes. Yeah. I haven't met her. I look forward to meeting her. She's very nice.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to. I'm going to have to bring her a gift. I've got so much to choose from here. You have no idea. You cannot possibly know the amount of crystals that are just here in my office. Never mind the rest of my house. But anyway,
that could be a reel.
I've done a couple of reels. I've got an unboxing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very
from a
cool.
crystal advent calendar, which I didn't do today because I got busy. But day 11. So just so you. Oh, and I dropped it. And this is a new stone to me, believe it or not. Do more to write. Look at that. You see it?
That's beautiful.
Okay.
Well, that's cool looking.
And for some reason, I had two friends each send me crystal advent calendar boxes.
Oh, that's so nice.
I know, right?
Yeah, that's great. Those are good friends.
Those are friends who know me. and a piece of howlite.
Oh, that's awesome.
So I did do my unboxing today.
Cool.
But anyway.
Yeah.
All right. So where were we? All right. So you're going to be at Tacoma. Is that the first show of the year for you?
No, the first one, I'm competing at Maryland. The Chicago show, I'm interested in going, but I wanted to possibly reach out to Groom House, not necessarily for me to record things for Groom Team or me to, but for me to do my own content, but for me to put myself outside of the stepping zone of, hey, can I just watch you? Can I shadow you? So that's something that I'm considering asking.
Oh, I would absolutely ask.
Just because I don't want to step on anyone's toes. This is their show. What they groom and what they do and how they do those things. That's awesome. I just want to learn. I just want to learn how get those shots, and then also me recording them doing it. Like, hey, because like a wedding photographer, they never get the opportunity to do their own content of them recording the client. So that would be different on.
I would really love to see it. And I think I've met them. They're nice people. I don't see a problem with this. And I've always said, when you view people who are who are sitting at the same table as you,
Right.
you view them as colleagues, you could learn so much from them
Yes.
rather than hoarding all the information from yourself.
Right.
I would reach out to them.
So that is, so I will. Thank you. That push, you just pushed me. Get it? Thanks, Mary. So that show, I'd like to do I'm competing at the Maryland show, but only in Poodle, and then Pasadena, Atlanta, Tacoma, and then, all of them. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll be at Groomed.
Cool.
And then Tacoma. I think I'm going to be at the Colorado show this year. I
Very
heard
cool.
really good things about that show last year.
Okay.
And then I've decided on the other Barkley shows besides Super Zoo, the Barkley shows are because where my kids are. So I'm doing the New England show because I got grandkids there.
New England, where it was last year, was gorgeous. I thought it was a really good show.
You know what? I am so glad
cool.
they moved it. I am so glad they moved it.
I really like that stinky old hotel, but
I
like a dive bar. So
no. Okay, no. The last time I was there with my husky, okay, he was old, and I have told this story like 1,000 times, and I will tell this story 1,000 more times. Anybody who will listen, okay. So I requested a ground floor room because he was arthritic. Going up and down the stairs wasn't an option for him, and the elevators there, they're a little sketchy. But anyway, so they gave me a ground floor, and it's October, people, in New England. All right. So I get to the room, and the room is really, really cold. So I could see that the door is a little ajar. Oh, okay. I'm going to go lock the door. So I go to lock the door, only it don't lock. Not only does it not lock, it doesn't close all the way. Okay. So I call maintenance to come in. And the guy looks at me, and I swear to you, the quote was, "Oh yeah, it's broken."
Okay.
And mine's like, "Well, how are we going to fix this?" All right. And he gives me a freaking piece of wood, so you couldn't open up the door that much. Okay. Now my husky was in heaven because he's a husky. Door's not closing all the way. It's cold. All right. So he's loving it. Meanwhile, I'm like sleeping with my winter coat.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm glad they moved it. I was like really sorry. It's like, damn, you finally moved that show, and I didn't go to it. So yeah, I'm going for 2024.
It was beautiful. It was a beautiful venue. Very nice.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that.
Good.
Right. That and Fun in the Sun because Disney.
Fun in the Sun. Yeah, that was my first time going this year. That was it was cool. I thought it was a nice show.
Well, I do like the smaller shows.
Mm-hmm.
The smaller shows are really good. I mean, because you can network more with people. There's more time to sit down. Like if you can just sit down with somebody that you've been wanting to talk to, there's way more opportunity to do that. The larger shows can get a little nuts.
It gets overwhelming. It is overwhelming, sensory overload.
Yeah.
So unless you have a mission, you go for it and it happens. But otherwise, it's just a hamster wheel.
Oh, no, it is. And I'm a very focused person. And I will tell you, at a show like Super Zoo or Groom Expo, I lose a little bit of that focus. So I'm not like that laser, got to go here and do it. I mean, I can only imagine somebody who does not have the focus I do, what it does to them.
Probably very distracting.
Probably very distracting.
Need more Red Bulls.
Oh, good Lord, no. All right. So, you know what? Do you have any words of wisdom for our listeners?
Like I said before, if it doesn't scare the shit out of you, then you're not doing anything. You need to try and keep going. And it's okay to take time for yourself and say, whether if you have to work on it or be upset, whatever your process is, in order for you to be stronger or to better yourself or to just feel better about yourself. But definitely surround yourself with good people. You're only as successful as the people you surround yourself with. Keep pushing, learn as much as you can. Don't look back. And if you do, just know that with those people that are surrounding you and making you feel good about yourself and making those big decisions, whether if they're good or bad, just to keep going.
All right, going to throw a little psychology in here. Okay. So there's lots of studies that are done, and you are basically the sum total of your 5 closest people. So you look at your inner circle, look at those 5 people that you have surrounded yourself with. Okay. Are they looking to be better than they are? Or are they happy in their spot? You will not grow if you are not surrounded with people who also want to grow. Right?
Correct.
I have always looked at somebody who was where I wanted to be. And I'm like, that's where I want to be. I'm going to make friends with that person.
Right.
Okay. And I'm going to be in that group too. And so I will tell you, if you see somebody at a trade show, do not be afraid to go up to them. There are two types of people. Someone who's going to embrace you and say, hey, welcome to the club. And the other person is going to look down at you and like, who are you? Don't worry about that person. Find the person who's willing to embrace you.
Absolutely.
Okay. And that piece of advice has served me really well.
That's great.
Okay. So anyhow, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. I had a great time and I feel honored and blessed that you decided to have me on this amazing opportunity. Thank you.
No, thank you for being here. So everybody join us next week when I interview another woman making a difference in the pet industry.